Hi there, it's Sam from poodles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is this one, and it's not a plain Sahara sand bag at all. It's got coloured panels or patterned panels at the side that are reflected here. Now, I am very happy to cut into my designer series paper. I'm a real paper girl, and actually I worked only with paper and cardstock long before I joined Stampin' Up. I only started using rubber stamps when I joined the company, and I thought, oh, well, kind of ought to. So I'm a real paper girl, and I have no objection to hacking in, chopping with abandon. But I do know that despite my teaching for the last 5 years, there are many of you who struggle to do that. So I wanted to show you a way to get a big bag that uses paper but actually makes use of the maximum width of a piece of cardstock. Now this is a full sheet. Well, I say a full sheet, it's my Poodle's version of a sheet of cardstock. In America, you work with 8.5 inch by 11 inch cardstock. So let me show you what that looks like. What yours looks like compared to ours. So, oops, wrong end. Move that out of the way. Okay, so this is your size of cardstock. Ours here in the UK, or in Europe, well actually the rest of the world to be fair, the rest of the world works in International A4, which is this size. I want to take it to that one. So it's longer but narrower than yours. Okay, 8.5 by 11 is yours, 8.25 by 11 3/4 is ours. So when you see me working with boxes and I make my own measurement, I make it 8 by 11 because I know everybody can use that then. So I'm going to start with that today. The principle, however, is exactly the same. You would not need to cut yours down, you would just leave it as your full length of cardstock. So I'm going to take it down to my suits everybody size of cardstock. Get rid of that bit, so I'm going to make it 8 by 11. So, get rid of those. Now, for the designer series paper, to make my panels in the mid that are here at the ends, these need to be 3 inches by 5 inches. So I'm going to take it this way and cut 3 inches. In metric, sorry, that's 7 by 12.5. 3 by 5, 3 by 5. How wide you make the panel on the front is entirely up to you, and it's how much do you want to use of this paper? Do you want to use it all? You might not want to. Keep it at the 12 inch and decide how wide you want it to be. Now mine is also 3 inches wide. So I'm going to keep it the same. And I'm still left with a piece of paper that is 6 by 12, 15 by 30 centimetres, and I've got a little panel here. So if you want to be frugal, you could make this a very thin section and still show off the paper. You could make it fatter if you wanted to, but the point that I'm trying to show you is that you can make this lovely big bag with patterned paper without using lots of patterned paper. Hope that made sense. Right, let me get my Simply Scored and drop some pieces of paper on the floor first. Okay, so on the long side, score it at 4.5 and 5.5 inches. Sorry, 4.5 and 6.5 inches, which in metric is 11.5 and 16.5. Now, if you are A4 and you're working at the full 11 3/4 of an inch, score it in the middle first, and then take it equidistant either side. Super easy. That's all you need to do on that bit. These panels that are 3 by 5, score it at 1/2 inch on 3 of the sides. You need the 2 long and 1 of the short. Okay, long, short, not that one. And the same over here. half an inch. That's 1 centimetre on 3 of the sides. Okay, so move those out of the way. This, super simple, just gonna score and score. Exactly the same here. Burnish these. Ow, poke myself in the finger. What I'm left with, when these score lines are removed, my piece of paper is 3 inches across, and my scored section in the middle of this is 2 inches. These are half an inch each, which leaves me with a 2-inch panel there. That's what you're working with, so, and it's the same obviously in the metric version. So I'm going to trim out the corners, because I don't want them, they'll just get in the way. On both of them. And here's where we're going to have some fun. So tear and tape comes on this part, on the DSP, not on the cardstock. Run it along the 3 sides on each of them. Isn't it a gorgeous paper? Petal Promenade. So lovely. And I'm still desperately clinging on to a bit of summer. I'm working with Christmas stuff mostly. And I've changed the decor in my kitchen to autumn, but I'm still trying to hold on to a bit of summer. I say I changed the decor in my kitchen. If you haven't seen it, I did a card back in the summer. And I have pale neutral grey painted walls in my kitchen, and my furniture is pale grey, which means that I can add any colour I want to it. So I just accessorise with jugs and candles in whatever colour. So we've gone purple, really deep purple. Okay, so our panels that are going on, it's going to feel like you're doing it wrong. You're not. So this is my centre panel with the smallest part. Fold it away so your glue isn't going to get caught, and line it up. I might need to put this on autofocus and get a bit closer for a minute. So I've folded my glue panel out of the way, pushed it down, and I'm lining up this score line here with that one and that one with that one. Okay. And when you fold it into place, it's perfectly aligned. We'll do the same on the other one for now. And because I'm right-handed, I find it easier just to move it like this. So hopefully you can see I'm lining up that score line with that one with that one. And again, perfectly into place. These, super simple. Oh, let me just bring that out of zoom. Line this edge up, this one with that edge there. Fold your gluey part away for a minute until you've got it lined up. And then push down, and it's perfectly lined up at the top, and exactly the same round on the other one. And again, perfectly lined up. And that's the reason why I haven't taken the glue off these bits, because you're kind of wafting it in the air. But you need it to be laid flat, or you would find it easier to have it laid flat to put that centre panel on. So I'm going to line up again. And then the last one, line it up. and I wibbled a little bit. Oh, look at that. I wibbled a tiny little bit there. So I'm going to have to trim that because that would annoy me. Look, I've buckled it inside. I wouldn't normally hover it in the air if I was making for myself, but I want you to see. Oh well. You can fix anything. You can always fix crafty errors. There we go. So there is no front or back. It's up to you. But you push in at the sides like you would other bags, and it's going to go in and stay in place. Paper here, I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm just going to wrap it. There's no scoring involved. Don't need to score everything. Gently pinch at the bottom and anchor it down on the table. So that's holding that in place. And I'm going to wrap over, get that pinched in place. And round there, and that will all fit nicely. So I'm going to run some tear and tape along here. Actually, I'm going to put a snail on the inside, and repeating again what I did before. Wrap it round, fold it over, line it up, and that is now closing, and it will slide on and off with no problem. It will slide backwards and forwards. Obviously you would have to pinch it closed, but you don't need to shred the box to get into it. Okay, let me finish with a tiny little bit of stamping. I have got, where did I put it? Oh, I put my box on top of it. The Colourful Seasons, because I wanted this great big Just Breathe, but I'm going to go with Life is a Beautiful Thing this time. What does that one say? May all your tomorrows be as happy as today. We'll go with this one. Life is a Beautiful Thing. And let's have a block. And I'm going to go for Grapefruit Grove, which is the orangey colour in here. And some nice white. And I'm hoping I can get this punched out with a circle. I think I can. With a 2.5 inch. Sorry, 2 1/4. Yes, I can. And where did I put my pink rhinestones? Oh, what did I do with them? No. They're here somewhere. There they are. They're caught between those ones. So I've got my lovely pink rhinestones. And well, do I go with diamonds or do I go with circles? I don't know. I think I might go with this shape. Oh, alarm reminder on my phone. And I want to change the colour of them very slightly, so I'm going to get my, what colour is this one? Dark Asian Craze. Fat end, because I want them a bit orangier than that. And over the top. And the reason I put them on in place first is because I don't want to have to wait for them to dry before I get them on. I want you to see the finished result. So although they're pink, it's the shape I wanted, not the colour, although I left the pink on the first ones. Grab some dimensionals. Off to one side, and now I'm going to bring in that polka dot ribbon that I used on the first one, which is lovely, absolutely charming. I'm not a polka dot girl really normally, whoops, but I really quite like it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to double over the length, cut it off and separate it, and do my very best to make a double layered bow. Move those out of the way so the light's still on the desk. Over the top. So bad enough I can't even tie one bow, and I'm going to try and do two at the same time. Oh dear, I do set myself some challenges. Poke that through, hopefully. Yes, it worked. Make it nice and tight, and then, oh, I still got it on autofocus. Yes, and you can separate the two loops. So there's my two loops that are on top of one another, and you pull them apart. So you end up with 4 and 4 tails. That's okay, we quite like 4 tails. Let's trim this off a little bit. And this ribbon is really forgiving for that. Really forgiving for me, I should say. So hopefully you can see 1, 2 loops, 1, 2 loops, and there's my tails. But the tails, I don't mind them. I don't want them necessarily to be separated, so I haven't done that. And then on there, a bit of a jaunty angle, and I like that. So this is smoky slate with the paper. This is a different pattern within the same collection against Sahara sand, and I love them. Aren't they gorgeous? I think so. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day, everybody. Hope to speak to you soon. Bye.